80. Down here for you could have moved into and had money left over.
You right about that.
With a pool in the backyard.
All right, host.
Plenty of space. I wish you would come down here.
That's a direct order. Do it now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026. We are Roll Call, Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. I'm here with a few of my friends. I got Will, I got Ty, I got D, I got AC, Jamel, Rich, Cheech, Derek, Jim, CJ, and Mark Matthews are with us. Before we move on, we're going to have a intro and a moment of silence.
Wow.
That last one, I hear some background, but that last one, D, that one was breaking me down over here. Listen, thank you so much for that. We're gonna have a disclaimer coming from Cheech and our statement of purpose coming from Rich.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Before we get started, we wanted to go over a couple of things. First and foremost, want to let you know that the comments made by our members are the opinions of each individual. They're not intended to be any type of legal advice, recommendation, or suggestion. Remember that the laws change from village to village, city to city, state to state. So please check with a local attorney or your local police department for any advice. Also, in order to spark our conversations, we do display some videos and photographs, some of which may be graphic in nature. They are not intended to offend anybody. Please do not take offense to it. A member of the panel will let you know when we are going to display one that is maybe graphic, so you can decide whether you want to watch or not. These videos are not the property of Roll Call. We get them from social media like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. So you do have access to the same videos that we use. Also, the language used by members of Roll Call is very spontaneous. Everybody here speaks from the heart, so it is uncensored. It's not intended to offend anybody. Please do not take offense to it. You will see that we may not agree on some things and might go back and forth on the issue about it, but we never take it personal. So we hope that you don't. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please post them on the chat, and a member of our team will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you. Rich?
Thank you, Cheech. Yeah, welcome to Roll Call, Black, White, Blue for Better Relations. We are a pro-law enforcement group. We're for equitable policing. We're against racism, and Black and brown lives matter. We come to you each week in an attempt to bridge the gap between law enforcement and your community. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Cheech. Thank you so much, Rick. Derek, you still got that noise going on back there. I don't know what it is, but you got some serious clanking going on. Jim, I see your hand.
Yeah, I would like to just add something to those comments made, so everybody understands that's viewing us and listening to us. When we view a video, we make comments and we have discussions based solely on that video. We don't know what the outcome of a trial is. We don't know if there's any other evidence that's not presented in the video. So all our discussions are based strictly on that video. So we don't want anybody to have the misconception that we know the exact case from beginning to end. So it was just something I was thinking of after last week that I wanted to make sure, or while we discuss it, we should make sure we let them know that there could be other things involved that we're not privy to at this moment.
And you're pretty much right with that. Not pretty much. You are right with that, Jim, because a lot of times that's like what we're doing. We're doing what every Joe citizen would be doing at home. We see a video and we make an opinion on what we just saw. That's it. Right. The only difference with us is that we have a little bit of law enforcement background to start thinking about things that could be involved with that video. But that doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just that it's just our opinion at that time of watching the video. All right. And then we come together collectively and we throw stuff at it. We throw and see what sticks. And we don't know the end results. All right. Jamal, I saw your hand up, and I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah, basically, by no means at all. We have our fingers on the scale of justice. That's it.
All right, and your computer, Jamal, sounds awesome.
Thank you. I tell you, man, Walmart, man.
I know. Now listen, we're like I always do. We're praying for Derek and Deirdre. We're praying for Cheech and Anna. AC, I didn't call you earlier, but we're praying for AC and Jeanette. We're praying for Isabel Jordan. Rich asked us to pray for her a couple of weeks ago. We're praying for Monique. Monique is Dawn's sister. Dawn's sister, Mark's sister-in-law. We're praying for my brother Tim. He's a year under me. He's having a procedure today. We're praying for him. We're saying happy birthday to Eva Waddell, one of our listeners. I don't know if she's on right now, but she'll probably be on and she'll hear it later. If I see her jump on, I'll say happy birthday again. But we're saying happy birthday to Sister Eva Waddell. Now, we do have a show lined up. Sister CJ, go ahead. I saw your hand.
I just want to add also that we're also praying for Colleen and her family.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Colleen Bull.
Yes, that baby's funeral will be on Saturday.
How about the father's? On
Monday.
Okay, so we're praying for Colleen Bull. If anyone doesn't know, that was a family involved in Hempstead, the tragic fire on Albemarle Avenue in the village of Hempstead, where the father and the son passed away. So we're definitely praying for Colleen Bull and her family as they go through this trying time. Listen, life is rough. We don't know why things happen. Oh, we're also praying for the families of those who were on the Southern State Parkway this week, where the young lady was going westbound on the Southern State Parkway, sideswiped a car, crossed over the median, still going westbound in the eastbound lanes, and hit a few other cars and killed a pastor and his wife.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So I think it was like 10 people that was hospitalized. 8 hospitalized and 2 deceased on the scene. The pastor was the preacher. He was a bishop. And his wife was the pastor, and he was 82 and his wife was 88 years old.
Wow.
And they died on impact. So
And
we're praying.
Donald, don't forget the Holly family as well.
Right. Henry Holly.
Yes, his family, Henry
Yeah.
Holly's family. Yes.
Praying for the family. All right. Thank you guys so much. But listen, today, Will Quick is going to lead us in our conversation, and we'll be guided by Will. So Will, is in your hands.
Right. And welcome everyone to Roll Call, to our watchers and listeners on Facebook Live. We got Isabel Jordan, we got Beverly Halston Wells, Donald Coleman, Natasha Jackson, Ruth Cathy, and Valerie Marsh. Thank you once again for taking the time to join us today. We don't take it lightly. Know there's a lot of other stuff you could be doing, so we really appreciate you rocking with us today on on our broadcast. So let's get right into it. D, what's up for us?
Our first video is going to take we had a pastor that was arrested for not identifying himself in Alabama. I think they called it Childress, Alabama. Hopefully I got that right. Let's take a look and then we'll...
New on 13, an Alabama Supreme Court ruling in a case involving a local pastor is now drawing national attention. Justices say police can require physical ID if they are not satisfied with a person's answers. So the case stems from this video you may remember in August of 2022 when Pastor Michael Jennings was arrested in Childersburg while watering a neighbor's flowers. Well, he identified himself to officers but refused to show ID and was taken into custody. The charge was later dropped. His attorneys argued that he followed state law and was not required to provide physical ID. Well, civil rights groups now warn the ruling expands police authority and could affect everyday police encounters.
I see your hand up, Don.
Did I hear that the charges were dropped?
It was Cinco de Mayo when a Columbia County.
So he wasn't. What was the Supreme Court ruling? I'm lost on that. I thought we said something earlier.
There was a
different.
lawsuit after the charges were dropped. Just because let's remember, just because the charges are dropped doesn't always mean that the person was innocent. He was arrested for obstructing governmental administration. In the interim, he brought a lawsuit against the police department, which that article then deals with afterwards. It was decided that the police can request for identification of individuals.
But his charges were still dropped, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It was his
I'm
lawsuit
comfortable
was
down there, because that's where I was in the beginning when we were talking about this. Like, I know police have the right to inquiry. They can ask you your name, your address, why are you here? I know they can ask those things. I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. I was just shocked that they went as far as to lock them up, which is what the commentary did say, was that if they're not comfortable with your answers, they can go. Which I still didn't know how that would get over, but that because every cop would say I'm not comfortable with your answers. That's just right. Giving them a green light. I wasn't comfortable with his answers. Then
Jamel, we see your hand, and then we'll get into the hands that are raised on the platform. But Jamel, you had a quick comment.
Yeah, and like you were saying earlier, Donald, even in a right of inquiry, you don't have to answer their questions.
Well, not according to what that was just said.
Right, you're right. Yeah, there.
Let's check out some of these other points and circle back around. Derek, what's going on, man?
You on mute, Derek.
More and more, it seems like there's an expansion of police powers and a reduction in citizen rights. And it's a clear-cut violation of the Fourth Amendment. It's clear-cut. We have the right to not be searched and seized. He was seized. There was no complainant because the people were home. He was only watering the grass. He wasn't in their house. So without a complainant, you're not even trespassing. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, the complainant was the neighbor.
There was a complaint.
Right, but you have to be an agent of the property. So the complainant can't be the neighbor.
Yeah, they can complain.
No, the neighbor was the one who called the police and brought the attention to the police department.
Yeah,
anybody can call that suspicious condition.
Yeah, anybody can do that. They're right. Anybody can do that.
Bringing attention to and being an agent of the property is two different things. There was no agent of the property because the agents of the property actually gave him permission to be there to water their grass. It was a nosy neighbor, and another neighbor shouldn't have any more right to complain that he should have to be there because he's a neighbor as well. And again, it's an expansion of police power, and the courts are granting these police more and more power, and it's going to have a negative effect on our lives long term. You first have reasonable articulable suspicion. Obviously, you have the common law right of inquiry just to inquire. And if the person says, listen, I don't want to talk, that's it. If you have reasonable articulable suspicion to identify the person or reasonable articulable suspicion to continue it, then you need reasonable articulable facts to be able to take it on to the next level, which will be probable cause to arrest them. And none of that stuff was available. None of it. That's all I have.
Point, Derek. I think we're going to have some other perspectives that are going to expand on that. AC, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon, everyone. I put my hand up because he said if the cop's not satisfied, they can go further. I really want to read this decision because what do you mean not satisfied? That's too vague. You know, I'm not satisfied with my sandwich. That don't mean I need another sandwich.
You would eat another sandwich.
I'll think of it. But not because I'm not satisfied.
He'd order 2 for the jump, CJ.
Yeah. Not because I'm not satisfied.
That's why CJ here.
You made that one too easy, AC.
Yeah. No, it's just too vague for well, maybe the report we got is too vague. It has to be defined a little further than that. It's not satisfied. All right, that's all.
I'm with you, AC. I'm with you. I had a problem with that when I first saw it. I'm with you. You know.
Oh, okay.
So Miss Kravitz calls the police and say he over there watering the grass, and then they get mad because he don't want to give up his name.
We're gonna circle back around to that if D doesn't hit on it.
Well, I'm gonna approach this from 2 different angles, and first of all, welcome everybody to our show. What about common sense? They're talking about expanding police powers. The law, the way I understood it, was if you have reasonable suspicion, Derek said it right, probable cause to ID somebody, you follow those parameters. The other side of this is, what about common sense? If he's watering the lawn. You understand? I usually, I don't know y'all, when I was out there, I had bigger fish to fry. He's watering the lawn, and you inquire, you're smart enough to ask the right questions. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You ask the right questions to elicit the right answers, and then you go from there. Now, we're in a climate now where everything is a challenge. I didn't work in that climate. I worked in a climate where nothing was a challenge. I'm just going to tell you the way it is. I didn't have no challenges. You didn't tell me what you wasn't going to do. I walked up, asked you your name, you gave me your name. I said, "I have a nice day, Pastor. I'll come back by and check on it." You know what I mean? We dealt with things differently. And I know now we don't have that. So now everything is a challenge. So then the Supreme Court, did y'all hear this thing? The Supreme Court. I didn't want to go to district court when I was in Hempstead, y'all. The Supreme Court came down and said, now they can drag you into, why is that necessary? have we in law enforcement now just lost all common sense and all decencies and the ability to do our job? Now, really, the way it's going to me, and Derek, I'm going to get on board with you. I ain't talking to nobody. What you doing here? Come on, let's go. Right? Isn't that what's going on in Minneapolis? Right? Now we've taken it to that point, and I'm saying there's issues on both sides. Oh, I sound like somebody else. But there's issues, our society, our community, you want these things. You want these videos, and I used to say it all the time. The videos never help you. The videos, they don't help you. And where's the video? And then you find out, all right, now we got to charge them because we got a video, and now the video's on YouTube. Now I got no choice but take you away from your family. So you can't feed your family, and you got to go over here. Whereas before we could have said, "Yeah, man, cut that out. Don't do that. Make sure that lady's taken care of. Don't do that." We've gone so far away from that now we got the Supreme Court telling us that we got to snatch people off the street. And I don't know if I could work in a climate like that. I don't know. Just snatching folk, that's not the way I did the job. So
you make a good point about the climate component. And I'm going to throw a term out there that I know all of us are familiar with: community policing. One of the canons of community policing is encouraging your neighbors to look out one for another. This situation, unfortunately, the optics and the timing of it were bad to begin with, because you had a black male in someone's yard and you had someone else that called. We don't know what their race is. We can presume. And then the officers that responded were also of a different demographic. So you potentially have an adversarial on that situation just from the look of it. Now, to the end point, whether or not somebody called just because he was black or because he was someone on the property that they didn't recognize, we don't know. But from a law enforcement standpoint, I feel like they could have easily gone in and said, listen, we got a call from a neighbor. They say they don't recognize you. I know you're probably here for a legitimate reason because I see you watering the grass. Is there any way you can get in contact with the homeowner just to verify? And we'll be on our way. We'll go back and tell the neighbor, listen, we spoke with the homeowner, you're good. We wouldn't even be having this conversation about this if it's handled that way. Now, from a common sense standpoint, should people be able to be adults without getting police involved in something as simple as that? Yeah, they should. But that's not where we are right now. The minute that people see a situation that they don't like or they don't want to deal with, or they're not getting the answer that they want, their solution is to hit the easy button and dial 911. And then we wind up in a mess behind something that reasonable adults should have been able to handle amongst themselves. Derek, what's your point, man?
Yeah, couple of things. One is, once cops, it seems as though it's this way now. And it may have been this way with some officers back in the day, but it seems like it's more prevalent these days. Once a police officer decides, for whatever reason, they don't like you, they will find a reason to arrest you. Mm-hmm. And there are enough videos, obviously, for the last 6 years we've been doing this show, so I watch a lot of YouTube. And there are plenty of videos, you can find 5 of them a day, where officers are huddling up with each other after they have stopped a person that hasn't done anything wrong. They huddle up with each other because one of them decides they don't like the person. What can we charge him with? Well, maybe we can do this, or he when he took off over there, one of his tires spun a little bit, so we can get him for reckless. It's just they try to find something to pin on you. And one of the most prevalent things that they pin on people is when people don't want to talk to them or don't want to answer questions, they're hitting them for obstruction. Mm-hmm. And obstruction is not a charge that someone should be able to be hit with because they're exercising their Fifth Amendment right. You're not mandated to talk to police unless you're under arrest. It just seems as though it's going in the wrong direction, or it's going in the wrong direction, and the direction that it's going in does not favor the public.
And you got a really good point there, Derek. Where I was working, you had too many officers that the only charge they had was resist the land obstruct, and it could be obstruction somewhere else. And the DA's office got to asking, well, how can you have resist the land obstruct without any other underlying charge?
Right.
What was it that they were?
You can't resist if you're not under arrest for something lawful.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct. And there's a lot of them that were of the mindset that because I'm the police, I can ask for ID under any circumstances. No, that's for your driving privileges if you're driving on the road, not just to be a human being and going about your business. Jim, what's on your mind?
I don't remember what the original Supreme Court case was. Could somebody remind me what was the case brought to the Supreme Court and their decision on this thing?
They said that it was in regards to a lawsuit that the pastor brought against the police. So that's how it got there.
Do you know what the actual charge was to the Supreme Court, Mark?
Well, the guy got locked up for obstructing. The charge was dropped.
Right.
So the guy put a lawsuit. I don't know exactly what the lawsuit.
Like a false arrest lawsuit?
I would assume so.
And
the article really didn't say that. Didn't really go into depth about it, but it just went over the ruling that they ruled with the police that he can. Last time we went over this, talk about common sense. It was really just about if this guy would have ID'd himself, it wouldn't have even been a case.
So to answer my own question, then it was probably a false arrest suit to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that it was not a false arrest.
Right.
That's what it seemed like.
Thank you.
Hey, Rich, what are your thoughts, sir?
You know what? Like we always say, just comply and you have less problems. You know, that's one side of it. I understand if you're doing something and you're doing the right thing, you don't expect to be questioned. And I don't think police are more empowered. I think the Karens are more empowered. I think they get too much power to affect other people. You know, those are the kind of people that the guy's watering the grass and they'll call 911 and report there's a large black man in the yard. I don't know what he's doing. I haven't seen him before. That's not his property. But look what he's doing. He's watering the lawn. Obviously, if common sense, like Dee said, it's just, we're just living in a crazy world where the Karens rule and the swatting that goes on. I just think there needs to be something done about the people that make false reports. Because you always say, oh, make a false report, we can do something. Well, do something. Shut these people down. That's all I got.
You got a point. And there's a lot of that. Like I said, they use law enforcement to do things that people don't want to take adult accountability for. Don, you got your hand up?
Yes. I agree with what Rich just said. Just comply. Now, I know we're getting frustrated with police coming up and asking questions and all that stuff, but the safest way, the easiest way to keep moving is just to comply. I don't agree with what happened in that video at all, so I don't want anyone to think that, but because we have other people listening to us, I don't want you to think that I'm saying don't comply, don't give the answers, don't give your name, don't give your reason. I'm not saying that because it's safer for you to give your information and keep it moving. That's the safest way of doing it. On a serious note, I mean, Mark and I were at a situation a few months ago. We were with another officer that he left some equipment at a restaurant, and we went back to get it. And the police was asking me my name. Now, I ain't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do nothing wrong. I ain't leaving the equipment anywhere. I mean, but they would ask me my name, my address, where did I work? I gave them everything they asked for. But it was nothing they could do to me because ain't nothing involved here belong to me. I'm here on behalf of someone that needed assistance. That's it. But my point is, sometimes it's just easier to give your name, give your purpose, give the information, and keep on going. That's it, Will.
And Don, I see your point to that. I do. I'm gonna catch a couple of comments. Few people joined us: Renee Henderson, Eric Jones. The one that had me giggling a little bit. Who was that? Oh, Rich, you were talking about the Karens. Karen Caffey says those people need to find another name.
The new name is Jessica.
Karen says she tired of her name being utilized in such a way. Karen, we feel you later.
Gladys Kravitz, y'all. It's Gladys Kravitz.
Gladys.
Y'all don't remember her from Bewitched? She was Ozzy, the neighbor.
Oh yeah.
Miss Kravitz.
Miss
There we
Kravitz.
go.
That's who
Yep.
it is.
There you go. Derek.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting, and I remember when the video first came out, the guy did tell the police he was Pastor such and such, whatever his name was. He told them he lived across the street. And when his wife saw the police hemming him up, she came out. So he knew the guy was the pastor who lived across the street. It wasn't like this guy, these cops, they want to run your name. So they want your first name, your last name, your date of birth. And some of them even trouble you for your social. But for him watering his neighbor's grass and his wife comes out to confirm that he lives directly across the street and he told him what his name was, Pastor such and such, that's enough information. And what Dee said about common sense just rings so true. What is wrong with a police officer coming to the scene and telling whoever the crying ass neighbor was, this person isn't committing a crime? They're not committing a crime. I'm going to go on about my business. You go on about yours. Go back in the house. He's not committing a crime. See you later. That's what I used to do, and that's what I would have done. Like, it's funny because there were times in my career where I was very, very active because the unit that I was in required. But there were times in my career where I wanted to go home. I wasn't looking for a collar, and I wasn't going to create a collar. If someone's not doing something wrong, they're not doing anything wrong. Go on about your business. I'll go back to patrol and go on about mine, and everyone's going to have a nice day.
Man,
and the Karen, or I'm sorry, Miss Caffey, the person that called complaining, this person isn't committing a crime, you go back in the house. That's it.
Y'all wasting too much time on this call. I would have pulled up and seen that hose. I'd have been like, yo, man, let that lady mind her business.
Can I just say, guys, I wanted to say, I didn't really see the video, even though as you're talking, I get it. I think the neighbor who called, she just being, we're gonna call her some other name besides Karen, but she just being
Gladys.
Her whole objective is she got issues with her neighbors, the man across the street and the man that owned the home, and she just being busy. Okay. And it's unfortunate. It ended up being a big mess, but she was just being a whole lot of extra. And they need to be for real, like hovering on her for real and figure it out. Because I bet she's at the bottom of a whole lot of nonsense that's causing the cops a lot of stuff from her doing things.
You make an interesting point, Jerry. And that's a part that we will probably never know, whether or not this lady had some other underlying issue going on with that scenario. Because if the pastor lived in the community and she didn't even recognize him as being someone living in the community, then she just want to put her nose in when it's convenient for her. But the issue isn't identifying who he is. The issue is whether or not he is actually involved in any criminal activity. And the answer to that question from observation is no.
And I want to say she knew exactly who he was, Will. She knew who he was. It ain't like she didn't know who he was. She knew.
She on the same street.
Exactly. She knew exactly who he was, Will. She knew. She knew. She knew.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna use this as a learning opportunity for our audience. You know, and this is a problem in America now. You should know your neighbors. You know, everybody should know each other. Here in my neighborhood, somebody went away this weekend. They let us know, hey, Yolanta is grabbing the mail. Tom is taking in our recycling bin and garbage bin, and the dogs are at the groomers. Nobody should be at the house. Bam, we know. They tell us when they're leaving, when they're coming back, and we all do that in our neighborhood. We all know each other. If there's somebody that we don't know, we'll know. We'll know who is actually suspicious. But this is the problem in America now, man. Like, you get to know your neighbors, your whole block. You should know everybody on your block. You should know who they are. You should know all their vehicles. And this way, when there's actually something really suspicious, you'll know. But get to know your neighbors, people. You know, you need to trust each other and use each other for situations like that. If you're going to be away, let them know what's going on so this doesn't happen.
Great point,
that's
Chief.
all I'm getting on.
Great point. Mark, your hand was up and now it's down, and now you're waving us off. Okay, pitcher. So you waving off the fastball. All right, we're gonna go to the next pitch. AC, you got a curve for us?
Yeah, I got a curve. Why we making we talking about the person there? We talking about Jessica. That's the official name now on Instagram on the internet.
Gladys.
So that's what Cheryl suggested, but on internet they're using Jessica now. But more importantly, the curveball, Mark, the slider. Why are we letting the police off so easy for not doing what they're supposed to do? You can investigate without coming up with making a crime. So to find out what's going on.
Water.
Now, yeah, granted, that's a creative way of casing a house. But if you know somebody lives on a block, you can dictate the neighbor from this house is wanting to put it in your book and keep going. There's no reason circle back later on. There's no reason to be there and not. I think someone mentioned earlier, Will. You get quiet, talk to her. Actually, how to get in touch with the neighbor or with the homeowner or something. You can talk to her, have a conversation, do an investigation, and leave. You don't have to take somebody with you every time you leave.
Totally agree. So we got D and Don up next.
Yeah, real quick. We in a cheat code era. Everybody wants the cheat code, and now we're seeing it in law enforcement. Everybody wants to find the easy way. Just because you call me, AC, you said it right. You know how many calls the handcuffs? You know how many calls where the handcuffs should have went on, they never went on. Come on, man. You get in the car. Let's go.
Yes, we do.
But we're in an age. I think it's a cheat code. How do I do this the easiest? If I get there, they call me. Somebody's got to get an arrest. Raise your hand if 10% of your calls ended up in an arrest. No. How many times when you get up in the tree in the backyard, you the pool, and hold this for me. Get off that roof. You understand? Many calls we went on and we're like, come on, y'all.
Yo,
I'm gonna roll through the block. I'm gonna roll through the block. Don't do that no more.
Me and Don had a pact. Nobody going today, right, Don?
Nobody.
We're gonna figure it out. Me and Don had a pact.
So yeah, I just want to say it's a cheat code. I find it in. I'm sorry, you're talking about young people. Everything is okay. How do I figure it out the easiest way? And you're like, hold on. They look at the gray hairs and they say, well, why do you feel I feel up here because hold on a second now. I got to take my experience. I got to look at a situation. I got to apply my experience. I got to have a conversation and figure out what's going on. These young kids don't want to do that. I want to get there, put the handcuffs on, take them to jail. You know how much time I would have spent in the jail? I used to be down at 99 Main Street too much. I don't want to be down here. I got things to do. So I think it's and that's what I'm gonna name this video for y'all watching, the cheat code. Everybody wants the easy cheat code. How do I do this easy? And a lot of times, 6 months in the academy, 32 years on the street, it ain't no easy. Ain't no cheat code. It doesn't exist.
You're right off.
The cheat code gonna get you in trouble. That's all I want to say.
All right, Don, you're the last hand up on this one, and then we're gonna roll to the next.
Thank you so much, Will. I just want to say Donald Coleman says no one have to water my lawn. I have a sprinkler system. Okay, that's what he said. But my comment was it's gonna be an add-on to what D just said. Every complaint is not a crime. That's all. That's all I want to say. Every call is not a crime. Like he said, how many can say 10% of their calls was someone being under arrest. Listen, sometimes you went a whole day with not sometimes, most of the time you went a whole day with no arrest.
None.
Most of the time, because it was not warranted for an arrest. And there were plenty of times I didn't have ID because a lot of people I dealt with didn't carry ID and didn't give me correct information, and that was just the end of that. I wrote down what they gave me and kept that. Okay, well, I'm good.
You're absolutely right. I just saw a report from a large city. They were saying over 50% of their calls had nothing to do with any criminal activity. And that's from a large metropolitan city. Yeah. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how people have decided that they want to lean on law enforcement rather than engage in building substantial relationships with their neighbors, people that historically speaking, you want to have some sort of relationship with. Right. But anyway, we got on that one pretty good out the blocks. D, we're gonna pass the baton back to you and bring up the next one.
So we just gonna keep the Supreme Court in our lives, because everything we do now, we were supposed to be getting better, a lot more understanding to keep the government out. Now, y'all, they want the government in. Let's take a look at this one from. I'm trying to think of where this was from. I'll get it later. Let's take a look.
1026. It was Cinco de Mayo when a Columbia County Sheriff's deputy pulled over 23-year-old Dylan Webb.
Buckled, not speeding. All my lights work. What's the issue? What's going on, gentlemen? My name's Deputy English. Hey, man, the reason I'm pulling you over is your derogatory sticker on the back of your truck. Don't you think that sticker's pretty vulgar? And I was like, I mean, not really. So some 10-year-old little kid sitting in the passenger seat of his mama's vehicle looks over and reads that IE and asks his mom what it means. How's she going to explain that?
Within a few minutes, Webb was given a notice to appear in court. When he refused to remove one letter from the sticker, he was met with handcuffs, a mugshot, and an orange jumpsuit.
I think it's significant overreaction by the sheriff's office. Lord. Way disproportionate. I don't think it's appropriate.
Andrew Bonderud is now Webb's attorney.
It's about reminding the client's right from being arrested again, and also making sure that he's compensated for the loss that he sustained. The sheriff's office needs to acknowledge that, and they need to do it in writing.
He wants a guarantee that Webb won't be charged again for keeping the sticker displayed.
The state attorney's not going to file on something. We're not going to go and rearrest somebody.
Sergeant Murray Smith says it wasn't the word on the sticker that their deputy deemed illegal.
It was the obscene phrase depicting what the deputy felt was a sexual act. That is obscene by definition.
Can you see where they're coming from with that, or how do you feel?
That's like I said, they're just words. If they have a perverted mind, that's on them.
What a reasonable citizen would think. If they saw that, would they think that the guy is eating a donkey?
I'm laughing to the sheriff.
Or is he doing a sexual act?
The sheriff's office says the obscenity of this bumper sticker depends on where you live. He says here in town, he's received nothing but support from the community, but outside of this area, he says they've received criticism. The Supreme Court has ruled the level of an obscenity may be dependent on a community standard, not a national standard. Florida statute states a sheriff's office should vigorously enforce the law that deals with obscenity. Webb says he comes from a military family, and since veterans fought for his First Amendment right, he's going to keep the sticker on his truck. We should point out the deputy who arrested him is also a veteran. In Lake City,
what you got, Ty?
I just want to openly and publicly say that donkey meat is a fine delicacy.
Donkey meat? Is that what the sticker said? I didn't see the
No.
Jackass. What did the bumper sticker say, guys? I didn't see it. Show me the bumper sticker, somebody, please.
I don't know if I can say it. I don't know if I can say it. CJ?
It said I eat ass.
I eat possum. I eat
said-
possum. That's what it said.
Okay.
And just saying that donkey meat is a
I
fine
didn't see
delicacy.
it, but okay.
That's all it's saying. It's a fine delicacy.
The
Will?
phrase is a joke all by itself, but from the standpoint of the First Amendment, go ahead, D. Bring something for the people.
Two really quick things. And first of all, let me give you a little context. There's another video, but it was a little long with the radio call. He didn't know what he had. He didn't like it. He called his sergeant, and they had a back and forth. And to hear the back and forth, I guess I should have played that, but not necessary because it's ridiculous. For them to decide, and finally they decided, okay, you're going to arrest him. I saw Don shaking his head. Arrest him, tow his vehicle. Here in New York City, that's a $500 day. Easy. You realize what you're doing now. Your feelings are hurt, or you don't like something that you see, and you put upon another person. I wanted to say two things that I said before. Cheat code, common sense. We're gonna make that a corner in here. Cheat code. First of all, people got all kind of stuff on their cars and loud pipes and
absolutely.
Listen, they ride by going, It's sometimes it scared the devil out of me. It's so loud. All right, I have to laugh at myself. It sounds like shots going off. It's just the people have the freedom to express themselves however they want. You want the cheat code because you want to put on their freedom, and then you ain't got no common sense to say, you know what? Let me go on. As a law enforcement officer, come on, let me make this U-turn. Let me turn this block, because if I don't see it, it almost didn't happen, right? Come on, y'all. Don't act like it. Not today, partner. And you turn the block. So those two things I want us to keep in mind. We get so caught, First Amendment, Second, freedom of speech. Man, have some common sense. Let that man express himself the way he wants to. And if he want to eat donkey meat,
let him eat it.
Go ahead and eat some donkey meat. I tried to do it. All right, I'm done.
And guys, on my car, I have PBA stickers that, thank you, Donald, that I have on my car. And people may not like that either. Does that mean they get to mess with me because I got it on my car?
It's not offensive. It's not offensive.
Well, here's the thing.
Some people might find it offensive, Cheryl. I'm just saying.
The question is it because it's offensive, does it make it illegal? That's the question. So, for instance, it used to be a conversation. You see guys running. I worked in a college town. You see guys running all the time without a shirt on when the weather was warmed up and everything. But if it was a woman that was running and she didn't have on the top, somebody would say that was offensive. Shapes are different, but effectively, is it or is it not the same thing? The woman has her top is sexualized a lot more than men. So to make my point, offensive is about how you feel about a situation. Don, I saw your comment. I know from your perspective, that's not language. I don't think it's language that any of us would approve of. But we also have the Constitution that says we have freedom of speech. And ordinarily, that doesn't mean that you don't have consequence, but consequence only comes if your freedom of speech infringes upon someone else in the form of threatening them, or I guess in this case, maybe making them feel uncomfortable. But from an officer's standpoint, why couldn't he have just written him a citation, realizing that this is going to be an interpretive issue, written him a citation, put him in front of a judge, and then explain the circumstance and let the judge make a ruling? And then you go up from there.
That common sense part.
Fight it.
Derek, you got a hand up?
Will?
The uncomfortable part I disagree with, because I'm assuming the discomfort will come in the way of disorderly conduct. There hasn't been a disorderly conduct statute that I've read that mentioned the word discomfort or uncomfortable. And people's comfort and the law are two different things. Everyone has different comfort levels. I could give less than a crap about what someone has on their car, on a sticker. I don't care. And I wouldn't care if my children were small and they were in the car and they asked, Dad, what does I eat ass mean? I'd say, shut up and just keep driving.
Exactly.
Listen, and that's what parents can do too. All of the discomfort and uncomfortable stuff. Listen, police are not to police feelings. They're to police law. And if people feel a certain way, that is too bad. But this was initiated, it seems as though it was initiated by the cop because he's the one that saw it. But you're not out there to police feelings. You're out there to police law, period.
And you make a good point, Derek. It is a feeling, but I have seen such obscenity laws on the books. Now, in most cases, they are usually like local statutes. Local ordinances. I have never seen one that was codified in state statute. As they say, this one was. So that means it would be a misdemeanor.
Yeah, I was in New York City. Obviously, we dealt with state law, and there was nothing pertaining to obscenity. It was threatening behavior, so abusive or threatening behavior or fighting words.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing about language, or people could curse all day long. It is what it is, and they can have a curse on their car. It just is what it is.
Brian, I'm gonna come right back to you. Ty's got his finger waving at me.
Jim Cannon. Where did he go? All right, Chief Matthews, you're the desk lieutenant. I walk in with that arrest. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna tell me? Yo, get your ass out of here. You don't get your crazy ass out of here with that arrest, Tyrone. Am I right, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you are. Go find a robbery.
Come on, Mark, you can do better than that. I know you got a deeper thought than that. Just
Jim is back. Ty, you can ask him.
Jim, I was gonna say that was me. Me and Donald brought that arrest into you at 11:15. What are you gonna tell me and Donald?
That would be the last arrest you would ever make.
Ever.
Are you kidding me?
So let me understand. What is
I would demand they took that sticker and put it right on your car.
Again, what we threatening? Donkeys? Come on, y'all. We threatening donkeys?
No.
You were the other ass. Get out of here.
Jerry, that's one interpretation. Don, before we go all the way down the rabbit hole, Don, what's on your mind?
I just wanted to say that I'm offended when I see the sign says "Make America Great Again," because I want to know, when was America ever great?
Yes.
What time period are you talking about?
I'm with you on that one. I agree.
If you pick a time period, I can tell you how it wasn't great. I'm offended by that statement. So should I be locking people up that's running around with "Make America Great Again"? No,
Yes.
I have to ignore that and allow my personal feelings just to keep on going. I mean, because they have their feelings and I just don't agree with their feelings. That's all.
And they are entitled. We may not agree.
All right. Anybody else got a closing thought? If not, I'm sorry, Rich, go ahead with it.
Yeah, I got a closing thought. You know, when we were growing up, one bumper sticker I remember mostly on vans, but you saw it all the time. It was gas, grass, or ass. Nobody rides for free.
Yeah,
that was very commonplace to see that. Yeah. So, I mean,
Donald had that one on his car.
I saw that. Rich, repeat that because I'm not familiar. What was that?
Okay, here we go, Jerry.
Hey, listen, I'm getting rid of Cheryl, y'all. I'm getting rid of CJ. She's not gonna be on here no more.
We need to permanently mute her. She's out the box.
What was that bumper again, Rich? Because I'm not familiar.
Okay.
Grass.
I love you.
Yeah, grass.
Give him hell.
Grass.
Gas,
grass, or ass. Okay, so basically on that one, I mean, here you got drug use, you got something sexual, and you got gas, all on the same sticker. And it was commonplace. People were like, yeah, that sounds about right. Nobody should ride for free.
You also got prostitution because you got to give up that in order to ride. So you got prostitution.
Got everything jumping off there. But that's
y'all confusing. You guys are confusing me.
You don't remember that sticker, Jerry?
Y'all confusing me. I don't understand.
Why are you confused, Jerry? This is simple.
The sticker was grass, cash, or ass. No. Nobody rides for free.
Okay, because I didn't hear the cash part. I didn't
hear if you out there if you out there looking for a ride with your thumb out and somebody stops and they got that sticker on there, what they're telling you is you got to come up with one of those three if you want to ride.
I understand that I would understand I'd be in jeopardy if I'm out there hitchhiking and I get in that. If I'm out there hitchhiking, I'm in jeopardy anyway. I'm just saying. Whether they got a bumper sticker or not, but
it's about the ride. Hitchhiking.
That's right.
Well, you gonna do something?
well, Jerry, which one would you choose?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. So come on, Will, jump in there, Will.
Let's go.
Come on, D.
Wait, I wasn't finished talking.
Okay, go ahead, Rich.
Exactly, here.
Exactly.
I can't finish a sentence.
Yeah, please,
you
Rich.
understand? Come on
Please,
now.
Rich. Yeah. Go ahead.
My whole point is this whole thing's ridiculous, and they went too far on this. And once again, the first video to the second video, nonsense. This is what we can concern ourselves with. We got bigger fish to fry. Let's find a crook, and like what Ty said, with Ty, you and Don came down to see the lieutenant with this arrest. Why does it take two of you guys on that incident?
It was a rule.
It's always two.
We had to bring it with two people. You couldn't walk him. You couldn't
Can't
walk
come in
him
with
with
yourself.
one.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. That's why.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
They take that back that you have to have two people.
Procedure.
Yeah, it's procedure.
Oh wow. No, we only had one person. So
Contact cover.
Yeah, the other guy. If you came in with two people, they'd say, "Hey, go back on patrol."
Well, that happened. Once it gets set up, come downstairs, searched, and they start the processing, he'll go back on the street then. But for safety purposes, they had two people walking the door.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's roll on.
Bad, Rich. I'm sorry about that. D, what's up next?
Okay, hey, Rich. With the price of gas now, that's kind of obscene too. I'm just saying. and with the troopers, different than that. If you had more than two people coming in, then you needed somebody else. But that's another thing. Let's go to. We're gonna go to Atlanta. This is why we have all these mass shootings, and this is why they emphasize who knew something. What was a family doing? Let's check this out.
I'm just here. What I heard.
This police body cam video shows the moments before officers zeroed in on a man authorities say planned to shoot up the busiest airport in the world.
Put your hands behind your back, sir.
Police taking down 49-year-old Billy Cagle, 6'3", 320-pound suspect needing 2 sets of handcuffs. Cagle now facing several charges, including terroristic threats and possession of firearms by a convicted felon. Investigators say his family first alerted police in Cagle's hometown, telling them that he was live streaming details of his potential plot on social media, adding he was heading to Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport to shoot it up.
The family stated that he was in possession of an assault rifle. What we didn't know is that Mr. Cagle had already arrived at the airport.
Surveillance video shows Cagle parking his pickup truck outside the airport's south terminal early Monday. Once inside, he's seen unarmed walking up to a TSA checkpoint.
He seemed to be very interested in the TSA check-in area, which you can see was heavily crowded with travelers.
Authorities believe Cagle was headed back to his truck to retrieve a gun, an AR-15 assault rifle with dozens of rounds that was found in his back seat. But he was quickly stopped by officers on the lookout and armed with his photo.
A tragedy was indeed averted. There were 27 rounds that could have been fired from this weapon inside the airport.
A motive remains unclear, but officials believe Cagle's intent was to, quote, inflict harm to as many people as he could. Authorities thanking the suspect's loved ones for speaking up.
Family saw something and said something.
We're thankful to God and to good information and good intel and good people for this crisis being averted.
Now, police say they're working with the FBI to figure out how Cagle, a convicted felon, was able to obtain that deadly weapon. At the same time, they say at this point they don't really have an idea about a motive. They've not revealed what the prior conviction was, and they
fell off. We're still good.
Okay, we're back up.
back.
So,
guys, got me again. I didn't do anything. They did it. So,
how many of you all have flown through Atlanta or a really, really busy airport? I know everybody's hand gonna go up. You mean to tell me that truck was out there in the drop-off zone long enough for that car to come in, them to get the picture and find that dude, and that truck wasn't towed?
Yep.
How about that?
That's crazy. D, I see your hand went up.
Yeah, really quick. Hartsfield is a pretty big airport, much like New York, and you're right. It's odd because here in New York, you don't get to pull it to the curb. You could be in it, pulling it to the curb before you put it in park. They on you. So, yeah, that's interesting as far as Hartsfield. But I have been in some places, some smaller places, where you could pull up to the airport, you can 3-point park and sit there and go inside and have something to drink and find a gate and all the different things. So it's just a difference in some places. I think it's because we got people watching. It's good that the family called on him. And if y'all remember, like a lot of January 6 people, the families called on them. They was like, Uncle's acting up. He's having a problem over here. And that's all you got to do. We got people watching. If something doesn't look right, feel free, not watering the lawn, but feel free to make a phone call and say, it just don't seem right. Because from the looks of that AR, as close as it was to that security spot, and you know how it is, it just got, I think Kyle said it just got loose today. It's been backed up all week here. You can take out 300-400 people. Easy. Because the line, you notice how the line goes like this. So there's 300 people in this little square area. You can take everybody out. So kudos to that family. And I'm glad that's one for the good guys.
Absolutely. I'm reminded of the response that they had with the young men up in New York with the improvised bombs or the actual IEDs.
Gracie Mansion.
And how quickly they jumped in on that. So, yeah, that's another one for the good guys and the all-around effort. Jamel.
Yes, I just wanted to just double up on what Dee was saying. The family, the family. It's great when you see family members, will speak up against things that are wrong. They'll say, and if you see something, say something. So I'm so great that the family called and averted some type of mass shooting at the Hartsfield Airport. So kudos to the family.
They also saved his life.
Guys.
Yeah, that was impressive all around. CJ, is that your finger I see waving?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. This may be a little bit far leaning, but everybody knows Atlanta, from a demographic standpoint, has a large minority population. We know the stuff that goes on with Georgia with all this election stuff and whatnot. I hope that they do some deep dive investigation on what this guy's motive was and whether or not there was a potential a bias motivator. Because he shows up there in a work truck with a long gun in an airport that overwhelmingly the people passing through are minorities. Like I said, it might be a stretch, it might be a reach, but in this day and time, ain't nothing beyond the realm of possibility. Anyone else had a comment about that? Oh my. All right, well, we keep it rolling. D, you got another one queued up?
All right, let's get into this last one under my category.
I'm sorry, D. Let me pause you real quick. Let me get a couple of comments. Right. Donald Coleman rolls back and he says, Donald, you didn't need that ID. You know everyone. So, and then Donald Coleman says his granddaughter from Atlanta is here visiting him. He'll be worried when she leaves Sunday to go back.
Yeah.
If she can get back.
Yeah.
I got folks leaving, going to Paris and all kinds of stuff this week.
Absolutely. All right. So we're caught up on the comments. D, roll us into the next one.
All right, really, really quick. I've said it many times before. Do your job. Do your job. If you serving hamburgers at McDonald's, do your job. If you at the TSA, do your job. If you're trying to protect a congresswoman, probably one of the most prolific congresswomen ever, you might want to do your job. Let's take a look.
Oh my goodness.
Gotta be.
About a deadly police shooting that killed a man whose true identity was unknown by the congresswoman he swore to protect. The man was shot and killed outside Children's Health Hospital last week, was a longtime security guard for Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Police say he was wanted for posing as a federal agent and using a fake name and credentials. Fox Sports' David Santendry has more from today's press conference. David.
Well, Steve, this suspect was using a fake name for years, but instead of laying low, he continued to grow his career in security, eventually working right alongside Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
Hey, stop the car! Stop the car! Move your car! Move your car! Stop! Stop! Go!
Dash camera footage shows Dallas police officers working to serve a warrant to Diamond Mazier Robinson last week.
Hey, Sarge, you roll through this light on us. We're continuing on.
Officers lose sight of the vehicle for several hours. Later, finding Robinson armed in a parking garage at Children's Medical Center. During a standoff, officers used tear gas to get Robinson out of a vehicle. Robinson exited and then pointed a gun. 3 officers fired weapons. Robinson was killed. The handgun in Robinson's hand was reported stolen, according to police. But this case has gained national attention because of who Robinson pretended to be.
He's very good at hiding his true identity.
Robinson had a criminal history, including prison time for auto theft, likely preventing him from starting a legitimate career in law enforcement or security. At some point, he started his own security business going by the name Mike King. He even recruited police officers to work for him while off duty on the app Roll Call, an app Dallas Police Department has been working with since 2024, allowing officers to find side gigs. Mike King's business, Off-Duty Police Services, was listed with Texas's Secretary of State, according to Dallas PD, which allowed him to get verified on the app last year.
But he had been living this for many years.
At some point, Robinson, again under the name Mike King, became a member of Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett's security team. Crockett says her team followed standard protocols while hiring the man who was able to, quote, somehow circumvent the vetting process, adding there was never any reason to suspect that he wasn't who he held himself out to be. Dallas PD says it eventually flagged Robinson because of an Irving police bulletin about a stolen federal license plate on a vehicle.
Weren't sure who he was at the time.
Police say a Dallas officer who had worked off-duty security gigs for the man known as Mike King spoke up, recognizing the vehicle and its connection to Mike King.
He had just remembered working with him.
That's when a Dallas police investigation uncovered Mike King was Diamond Mazier Robinson.
The intelligence unit had been working on it about a week and a half or 2 weeks or so.
And Robinson had an active warrant for cashing forged checks dating back to 2017 and a parole violation. That's what led us to the deadly standoff at Children's Medical.
Get out! Keep your hands up! Stand up!
Investigators say at times Robinson falsely presented himself as a federal agent.
Jim.
That may have been the worst vetting
officer
I've
accused
ever
of shooting
seen
a
in
man
my
in the Bronx has been stripped of his.
My goodness. I mean, it wasn't like this guy had a traffic ticket they didn't find. I mean, this guy, it's just incredible that he wasn't vetted better by any agency, especially a congresswoman's team. But I would assume that ending was a suicide by cop.
Yeah. So Donald Coleman writes, wow, I hope this roll call is legit.
That call was with a K. We would have seen. I'm just saying.
I thought the same thing, Donald.
What's your point, man?
Oh boy. You got D?
Oh,
It's so
I'm here?
important because they want to
Yes,
give her
sir.
a black eye.
Oh, okay. My fault. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. Just roll through there.
I'm sorry.
Nah, really quick.
We can't tell. We can't tell when you freeze.
I start by saying, do your job. You got this security agent following around a sitting U.S. Congresswoman. Let me ask you, just don't have no details, but Cheech, isn't that just a phone call? Yes. Can you get it done with just a phone call in a few minutes? We're gonna leave it right there. Me and you gonna leave it right there. This is ridiculous. If you think the level of incompetence we have at the highest level, This guy's walking around, following her around, and if it's my company, I check everybody. I'm the worst. I want to know who that person you were married to 3 times and the daughter who's not. I don't know what's going on with that. We gotta know. We gotta vet it. And a lot of times, and this is the bad news, a lot of times you gotta say no. I can't take the chance. I can't. You, Donald, you said it right. Let vet some of these people. If it's a close to a no, the level of people you got in this room are so far into yes. If it's close to a no. Where you been? What you been doing? We go back to 10 years old. We go back to every job you had. And listen, if the job don't want to tell us, to me, that's a no. I'm just telling you where it is. They won't give you any information. That's your fault. No, it's not. You ain't getting the job. I can't take the chance. So I'm just saying people got to do their job. This is I want to know who vetted these guys.
Hello, because I want to say, don't
please,
blame
Congressman, holler at me. I want to know who vetted these guys to where this guy was locked up.
Right
you see all them pictures?
Tight. Yeah. Right there.
It was
one arrest. Nah. One detainment. Nah. So I'm just saying we gotta do better, and we gotta do our job. And it's interesting to see how at such a high level not doing your job. This guy committed, who said suicide by cop? I don't know.
AC.
I don't know if you want him walking around behind the congresswoman and he on some suicide by cop foolishness.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't trust when you do like this. I'm not going that way. I'm just saying. That's me. That's it.
Jim said it.
Jerry, what's your point?
Because she is such a high profile, they want to like lynch this around her neck. But guess what? She got all kinds of people that were supposed to be there for her. Ain't no way in the world she was supposed to know dude was a bad dude. He was, but she got a whole lot of folks that are there for her that was supposed to be right and right. But they want to, because she is such an outspoken anti-Trump, I'm just saying, and all of that crazy. They want to just try to overshadow again her loss recently, but with this guy. But oh my goodness, what was up with her people?
I know that's right. CJ, I saw your hand, but Derek had his hand up real quick.
And Jim has his up too. I'll go behind him.
All right. Derek, did you?
Yeah. There are different programs you can use to run background checks on people. And I was a security director for 4 years, and I used to use LexisNexis. You pay a monthly amount, you get an account, and you put in their name and date of birth, and it gives you everything. It gives you everything. It actually confirms jobs, and I don't know how it knows. I don't know if it does it through tax returns, but it confirms jobs. It confirms their criminal history. It confirms their education. So if they tell you their last level of education was here, it confirms what schools they go to. And all you do is put in their name, their date of birth, and LexisNexis gets back to you in about a week.
And that ties to Social Security.
They email you a report, and you literally have everything. You do nothing but put in their name and date of birth. And it's really simple. So someone asked a question like, who dropped the ball or who vetted him? He wasn't vetted. He wasn't vetted at all, because you can't miss all what was on that page. I don't know if he was arrested like 10 times or whatnot. You can't miss all of that. You can't miss it.
Derek, who he was? He was my boyfriend from high school, and I got him in. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, because he should not have been that close to her.
If he was her boyfriend from high school, she would know he was a knucklehead.
Now, I didn't say he was her boyfriend. I worked for her.
Someone else.
My boyfriend, and I skated him through.
You gave him the hookup. But
Jerry brings up an interesting point we'll circle back to, but the fingers that were waving were CJ and then Jim. CJ.
Well, I'm sorry, because Jim had his hand up first, but I'll go.
Go.
I was going to say, I never seen such lackadaisical security for a president than the one that they gave Barack Obama. There were several occasions. I don't know if you guys recall when Barack was over in Africa, I think it was, and they had this guy doing the sign language that dude had no background check and nothing. He wasn't even signing. Okay, so it's like what? I have seen our people be secured by the worst security in the world, especially when it came to them. I think it's a skin tone thing, but I'm just saying.
By them,
I'm done.
Okay, Jim.
I can guarantee you somebody was fired over this, and I agree with Jerry that this is because it's Crockett. You know, they're trying their best to make her look
bad,
responsible somehow. We all know when you're a congressperson or higher than that, you have a team that's supposed to be doing this
Handle your stuff.
Now, maybe the buck does stop at that desk, but the rationale is somebody on her team screwed up royally. And I'm quite sure that person or persons are no longer with that team.
Fired.
Now, AC made a good point in the comments. He said that the name was clean. And this is where I was going to go with it. All of us know you can give a different name, a different date of birth. You can give all kinds of different demographic information. But there's one thing you can't ever escape right there. A fingerprint.
That fingerprint.
You cannot escape it. And if you're going to and he was licensed by the state of Dallas for security work. How in the world, the only way you can skate through on your fingerprint not showing up on a hit when he had an outstanding warrant is because you know somebody on the inside working and they managed to push something through.
There you go.
So once again,
I'm his former girlfriend. I'm the one that did it. I'm his former girlfriend.
You better be careful about putting that out there. Jim, you got your hand waving.
I don't know him. I'm sorry. I'm not from Dallas. I'm not from Texas. Rewind. I'm not from Texas. Never been there. Have been, but not me.
Well, in the state of New York, to get a security guard license, you have to submit fingerprints. But you could submit somebody else's fingerprints.
What are they going to come back to the name that you gave?
No, not if you don't have a criminal record. They'll have.
And you can't submit anyone else's fingerprint because you usually have to go into that environment and they roll the print.
So no, not in New York. Not New York.
Oh, really?
No, New York. You fill out an application.
You get a card.
Send your money and put your fingerprint card in the envelope and send it off.
And we always got somebody who works in an office.
Wait. We have a different of opinion. D, I see your hand is up and head shaking.
That's why we got to raise our hands, people. So first of all, in New York, Jim, I beg to differ because I do have a license. You have to go to a place. It's actually on Main Street in Hempstead, and they take your prints there, or you have to go to a law enforcement agency. I would go to Hempstead headquarters, state police, and they have to do your fingerprints. If it's me and my company, I have them go do the fingerprints and keep it there. I go pick them up.
Just to ask this, Steve, when you go to get those prints taken at those locations, don't they give you the card?
No. Only if it's for an out-of-state license or something out of state that you.
No, in New York, State.
No. I'm saying in New York. If you're doing it for something in New York,
yeah,
the official has to pick up that card because that's it. You could pay. They could be anybody's prints, right? So they have to if it's in New York. But if let's say I have a Florida carry permit that I got while I was with the state police. I don't know. Don't ask. Dumb question. But I used to go in, get my guys to do it and send it off. I used to send it off. You can do that because that's out of state. But anything in state, your security license actually encompasses a test and a date. They give you a date. You go and you take your prints with them and they put it in the system. Okay. So it is no longer is that might have been the way it was once upon a time. But now you go to an actual place. It's actually on Fulton Street, on Main Street. And you go, you take your prints, and they keep them. They send them. It's on the print machine. It's no longer the card.
Yeah, I know they had the two sets of prints, one DCJS and the other one to NCIC.
Yeah.
But so in this case, the guy, where was this, from Dallas?
Dallas.
Yes.
Dallas. So I would have to assume then what I thought about New York probably is true in Dallas then.
Probably.
Otherwise, how does he get a license?
Yep.
Yeah, but that's why you spend a little bit of money on a background exam, a background investigation, a little bit of money, not much, and get don't go to the yellow pages and just pick somebody that says backgrounds. Find somebody that knows what they're doing because he can't get past the first step.
Right.
There's certain, where my investigator, I wish Dave was here. Some of my seasoned investigators will tell you, you can't come in here on my homicide and talk to me unless I verify who you are first. And there's certain ways we do that. I don't want to give it away for our public, but there's certain ways you do that. So this guy coming in talking about his name is Julamalo Julamulu, and this is your date of birth. Come here for a second. I'm gonna ask a few questions. I'm gonna know that right away. I'm gonna know it right away, and I'm gonna say, okay, we gotta look into this. We gotta send him for print.
So can I ask a question just because you guys are rolling all over my head?
Jared, ask your question.
Right, I'm sorry.
I just want you guys to help me because I'm saying she's not responsible for this. And I'm trying to really understand, even though I'm looking at what y'all saying with different pieces and different parts. And because my man has some substantial issues. And I'm like, I know me, I'm smiling, I'm all cute, even though maybe not all cute and all of that. And I get somebody who gonna move me along and get me there, which I still kind of think maybe that's gonna happen. But I'm not sure. Help me, y'all. Help me, because I got some gaps.
She's going to be attached to it because she's the most high profile.
And I know they're after her because she's also very adversarial to that nasty dude.
But this wasn't a circumstance that they were after her. This was a separate circumstance that tied back to her. Unfortunately, this guy
and they tied it back to her because they wanted to blow her up, and that's
it tied back to her because you're going to put out the information. You're going to put out the background on folks, just like they did with the guy that did the shooting up at ODU. You're going to put out background information about people, particularly in something that high profile.
So I just want to know, help me. What did he do besides falsifying all the crap that he did do? Why did he all of a sudden, thanks D, why did he all of a sudden blow up? Because I think they're tying it to her along with her trying to run.
He blew up because he was stealing guns. He had a warrant.
Stealing guns?
See, the gun was stolen. The gun that he pointed at the police officers and they unalived him, he was stolen.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Thank you.
License plate on the car was stolen.
Yeah. That's why they stopped him.
Not to mention, Jerry, a lot of times people in those situations will name drop to say, yo, I'm security for Jasmine Crockett, so that's supposed to make me legit.
I got how he did stuff that he did, but I missed that aspect that you just talked about when he was unalived. That was the significant detail that I was unaware of. So thank you.
Oh, okay. Derek, what's happening?
You're on mute, Derek.
Still mute, Derek.
There we go. We were talking about the procedure, and in North Carolina, the procedure is you have to make an appointment with the sheriff's department, and they give you the appointment. They let you know the time and date that you can come down. You come down with your fingerprint cards, unless they have them for you. When I went, I had to bring my own, which I got from the police department, and they check your ID, and I'm assuming they take your ID and they walk away with it and they come back a few minutes later. So they may do like a warrant check or something like that before they even fingerprint you. And then they roll the fingerprints and they have you sign and they sign and they date the forms. And they did give them back to me to mail, but they had to sign them and they're the ones that roll the prints. So it's, and mind you, if you're going to be guarding a congresswoman, the procedure should be even more stringent. It should be more stringent. So we'll see. And for those of us that are basketball fans, Duke is losing right now. But they are losing.
And you believe High Point knocked off Wisconsin?
High Point knocked off Wisconsin and TCU knocked off Ohio State.
Oh, okay, y'all.
Sorry, who is TCU?
We getting down to the end.
Who is TCU? Who's TCU?
We're going to talk
Christian
sports
University.
after the show, Jerry. We're going to talk sports after the show.
They're talking it now. Who is TCU?
That's why we're trying to circle back. That's why.
All right. Who's TCU? Just answer.
Texas Christian University.
Lord have mercy. Okay. All right, y'all. See what happened when we start just a little bit, when it started to unravel. Rich, you got your hand?
Yeah. It's not about this. It's from the veteran corner, me being a Gold Star family member and a U.S. Navy veteran. I just want to say that I'm totally disgusted by the deplorable acts by the President of the United States. The fact that, the dignified transfer of these soldiers that they gave their lives for his volunteer war. He used them on an ad to fundraise. So here he shows a picture with him at the dignified transfer. Number one, he's wearing a hat, one of his ball caps, and saluting. That totally is abomination.
Yep.
If you're at that ceremony, the only people that should be saluting with a hat are people in uniform. If you're in a suit, you don't have a ball cap on. You have to have your hat off. So that's the first disrespect. But then this one here using that incident with his picture for fundraising of his new campaign for the GOP from his old one. I was just totally disgusted. This is the stuff that's allowed to go on. And you know how many people are hurt by that? To see how disgusting that is? You know how many Gold Star families that are out there where, dignified transfer is a serious thing. That's their loved one, and you're making a mockery of it by, claim your spot, on his campaign fundraiser deal. I was just totally disgusted. I just want to be able to put that out, from the veteran standpoint. This is crazy what we got in the office. We've got to do anything. Nothing is shocking enough. That's all I got.
To your point, Rich, and D, are you already queuing up for a good guy story?
You wound me. You wound me. Of course I am.
I wound you, man.
I got it.
Man, you know what, Don? I believe I might not be so good at this thing. I might have to turn it over to Mark.
Yeah, you're doing fine. You're doing fine.
But to your point, Rich, I think all of us feel the same way. I wish we had a little more time to dig into it, because that guy, Joseph Kent, the counterintelligence guy, he's a Gold Star member who's lost his wife over there and served 11 tours in Afghanistan. Y'all, if he finally has an aha moment to say that this ain't right, let's circle back to the unaliving of Charlie Kirk and how mucked up that whole thing was, and how he was looking at it from an international counterintelligence perspective, which could very well have had an arm in that. And they told him to shut it up, keep it quiet. And Charlie Kirk spoke out in opposition to Israel's perspective on Palestine, Gaza Strip, the Muslim community as a whole. So this thing is getting a whole lot more arms and heads. But, and when you mentioned that, Rich, it just made me think about it. But D, forgive me, sir, if I've offended you. Can you take us out with a good guy?
Yeah, let's watch this. This little cadence, I thought was pretty funny, but it's kind of true. Let's take a look.
It's funny.
Funny.
My girlfriend and my family traded them in for an M16. Traded them in for an M16. Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, Iraq. Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, Iraq. I don't care if I ever come back. I don't care if I ever come back. From poor families, how far we roam. From poor families, how far we roam. So the rich kids can just stay at home. So the rich kids can just stay at home. When I come home with PTSD. When I come home with PTSD. The VA hospital won't care for me. The VA hospital won't care for me. I'll probably end up homeless out in the dark. I'll probably end up homeless out in the dark. To get played on screen by Marky Mark.
Oh my. Oh,
that was good motivation.
Stuff is the funniest stuff sometimes, don't
it?
Oh boy.
Oh my.
The floor is yours, my man.
All right, listen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listen, I know we started off with a discussion, and there was some disagreement in that discussion, but that's great for conversation, y'all. That's great for conversation. So, Will, good job. Definitely a good job. We appreciate it. D, good job from the tech point standpoint. Good, and thank you all for your input, because it's very important. And listen, don't be afraid to give your input. Listen, I'm telling everybody this. Don't be afraid to give your input. I don't care who disagrees with it. I'm serious. I just don't care who disagrees with it. We're on here as a group collectively with individual thoughts, and we're gonna work this out. This is roll call. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna make it right on through there. And we're not gonna be on the same page every day. There's some stuff I just don't agree with, period. Plain and simple, don't make a difference. Sometimes it's because of my law enforcement experience. Sometimes it's because of my religious experience. And sometimes it's because of the way I feel. All right, so I'm just saying that. So just stay encouraged. Thank you guys that's on Facebook Live and YouTube. Thank you for your input. We do read them. And sometimes we don't respond to everything because there's not much to respond to, because you're just making a statement. So we probably don't respond to just a statement. But we are reading what you're saying, and we're praying for your granddaughter, Dickie. We're praying for your granddaughter, praying for those I called out earlier: Derek, Deidre, Cheech, Anna, JT, Orlando, Isabel, Monique, my brother Tim. Colleen Bull has joined us too. I see her on Facebook Live. Colleen prayed for you. We're praying for you, your family. I'm not even going to say I understand, because every situation is always a different situation. But we are with you. Roll call is with you, praying for you and your family. Just want you to know that. Who else? Anybody else? I think that's it. Anyone has anything before we go? All right, thank you, Ty. I see you over there in the cut.
Yo, our prayers go out. Our prayers go out to Kiki Shepard.
Yes.
At Apollo.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. Anyone else I missed? I think I seem like I'm missing somebody. All right. Kiki Shepard was
Apollo
walking across that stage.
Yeah, being all the woman that she was. Yes.
All right, so let us pray. God, our Father, we thank you again for allowing us to come together. We thank you for the conversation that took place on today. We pray to God that somebody's been helped, someone's been encouraged, somebody has listened to what we said, and we pray to God that that we're not giving out information that makes someone get hurt, but that people will comply. I know that we're getting tired, but we need to comply and do the right thing and let everyone walk home and take care of it on another day. Praying to God for those who are on Facebook Live, those who are on YouTube. We pray to God you continue to watch over them and bless them and keep them. We thank you now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Those on Facebook.